Somewhere? You. Hello everyone, PolishLynx here, and we are back with Narcissu. Even though it was obvious that if one wanted to run away, one could, this girl still remained on this 7th floor. When I thought about that, do you have some other place to go to? You want to pull me back? Or perhaps you want to come with me? Yes? No, I didn't mean it like that. Then don't ask. While gazing out the window, the girl spoke indifferently. As always, it had been a conversation where she did not even look in my direction. However, just that time, I saw that her usual expressionless profile seemed sad. Thought that the third temporary discharge would be the last. The first time I've come to the 7th floor. And then a girl who would soon face her second time. For me, I still couldn't really feel the things that were happening in reality, but someday would I also come to make such a face? Well, I also heard something there. When before dawn, rainfall. Occasionally also changing to either sleet or snow, it slightly continued coming down. Within that, I was in the usual place, watching the television. As always, the 7th floor was devoid of people. Is it interesting? Nope, boring. The gale came from the other side. Exchanging only those words, she quietly sat in the folding chair next to me. And then, today, also, the two of us began gazing at the television. Surely, the girl was also the same. There was nothing else to do, nothing else she could do. Surprisingly, she responded to something on the television. Something the matter. Not particularly. The words were the same, not particularly, but it was a response that was different from usual for the girl. Becoming interested, I turned my eyes to the screen. What was on the screen was some kind of nature scene. On a oh crap. I clicked the mouse button, and focused on the screen were a great many white flowers. They were flowers I remembered seeing before. They resembled the white flowers even now, decorating the room by the windows. Are those the same flower? Look, aren't they exactly like this? While speaking, I pointed first at the screen and then towards the window. They're the same kind, but strictly speaking, they're different. Giving just a glance at the flowers by the window, the girl once again returned to gazing at the television while answering. To say the truth, even if she denied that they were the same to me, I didn't know the difference between the two. And anyways, for me, whether the flowers were the same or different, didn't really matter. Instead of that, the girl normally would never participate in conversation. The girl surprisingly continued with her words. That was why I also tried to maintain the conversation. Are you maybe knowledgeable about this sort of thing? Not particularly. Really? But I can't tell the difference. The white flowers blooming beyond the screen, the flowers in the vases beyond the girl's profile. While urgently looking at both of them, I continued further with my words. So, these are orchids or lilies. Look, they got a whitish color, right? Even though I had no interest in many courage to continue speaking. However, the girl soon became like usual and fell silent. With her usual expression, she only gazed at the boring screen. And when I had given up on the possibility that she would take up the conversation and once again began to move my eyes back to the television. Narcissus.
Narcissus.
Her Narcissus. Okay. While answering, for the first time she faced me. And me too. Swaying her long waist-length hair while pointing at the flowers shown on the television, she looked at me. Just like the flowers displayed on the screen, there was a white vinyl bracelet wrapped around her wrist with white skin. The first time that I saw that face, I thought I saw the briefest of smiles. Oh. Okay, let's go with chapter 2, the Silver Coupe. A few days passed, and the winter became even more serious. Out in the world, it was in the middle of what it was called examination season. As always, the two of us were watching the television today. It's boring, isn't it?
So ne.
Indeed. An exchange that couldn't even be called a conversation. They were days where the two of us only meaninglessly passed the time. Speaking of which, for you, when was it? Today. I see, it's today. Here, the today that we spoke about was what she had told me before her temporary discharge. We might not meet anymore. Oh, that's right. Even if she were to once again return to the same floor, just once more was probably the limit. In that time, surely I would also be coming and going between home and this place. For the two of us, the timing needed for us to meet again was unthinkable. Did you decide? That which do you want to diet thing? No, not yet. I see. She nodded in a slightly lonely way. That expression was probably because she was someone going on their second temporary discharge. While I have yet to realize things had not been given my first temporary discharge from the doctors. That reminds me. In the end, did she decide on her own answer for herself?
説明支度できたわよ。
Setsumi, the arrangements are done. Coming here and speaking was some older lady. Most likely it was the girl's mother. To me, since I was sitting next to her, the mother bowed her head slightly. Well,
そろそろ行くけど、
it's about time we'll be going. Are you ready?
それでは失礼します。
Well then, excuse us. Once again giving me a small bow, the lady made to leave the place. And then she stretched out her hand to the girl that was daughter. But the girl didn't make to leave the place. Even when her mother tapped on her hand, for some reason she didn't make to stand from a folding chair. What's wrong? Setsumi.
少し
It hurts a bit.
苦しい。苦しいってどこが？胸？お腹？
Hurts? What? Your chest, stomach?
胸。
Chest.
ちょっと待ってなさい。すぐに先生呼んでくるから。
Go call the doctor now. In a rush, the slapping sound of guest slippers rang out, and the lady ran towards the nurse station. Left in that place was the girl, still hunched over in the folding chair, and me. Her condition or its progression I knew absolutely nothing about. The things that I knew were her name was Setsumi, blood type 0, only the things that were on that white bracelet. However, We were residents of the 7th floor, and at the least, she was worse than me. Say, until the doctor comes, want to lie down there? As I spoke, I pointed to the couch. It was something that was placed in the corner of the room from before. Look, I will support your back.
別に
It's nothing. I'm already fine.
もう平気よ
With just that reply, she quickly stood up on her own. Hey, you. Don't strain yourself. Faster than I could finish quickly, she walked out into the hall. Night after the lights were put out. As always, holding a book of manga, unable to sleep, I wandered around the hospital. And then, with the lights off, was the pitch dark lounge. There I found her figure. You're here again? What's wrong, feeling bad again?
別に
Not particularly. While looking out the window, that was all the girl replied. In the end, it seemed that the girl's temporary discharge had been postponed. With that, I didn't know when the next opportunity will be, but most likely the postponement was not in a few days, but weeks. Say, I'm just wondering, but today you are faking sickness? That's what I think also. Well, the term faking sickness itself might have been a bit strange, since after all we couldn't really be said to be in a normal condition. The important thing is you didn't want to go on temporary leave.
意味がわから
I
ないわ
don't
よ
understand your meaning. Well, you won't have any more after, right? To that question she remained silent and gave no reply. From before, she had repeatedly asked me which place I planned to die in. And to that I had not yet decided, while the girl had said she didn't like home or the 7th floor. You really don't have another place to go, do you?
だったら
If so, what about it?
どうなのよ
I know nothing. In the usual lounge, now pitch dark. As always, without even looking my way, the girl sat looking out the window. Even though it was still 11 o'clock, in this place called a hospital, most of the lights were already out. This place was where ordinary and extraordinary days meet. Moreover, we were residents of the 7th floor. Already we could choose nothing outside of the 7th floor and home. From that dark 7th floor window, the girl continued looking out at the outside world, the ordinary world. Still the buildings and houses shone brightly with light. The roads home were filled with the figures of people hurrying home. I myself had only somewhat realized my situation, but already I was a resident of the 7th floor, a person of the extraordinary world. Probably I was already unable to return to the other world. The nearest time was step. The Narcissu's white orchard skies passed without even the need to exchange words with anyone. In the beginning, from the window I watched lively children go to school, people walking quickly. When I tired of that, I always watched the television. There was nothing else to do, nothing else I could do. Even if outside the window it was snowing, the screen had the sun. Without cold, heat or pain, and the world spread before my eyes, a dream world. I saw peace in imaginations. I only greatly increased my knowledge, simply accumulated more and more meaningless trivia. At some point the things shown on the television lost their reality. Next in books, in games, and then family. Finally, even my own body. As if logic sounds stranger, I lost the ability to understand it as real. That was why, when I came to the 7th floor, I wasn't surprised. If I closed my eyes always, the world would disappear. That's why I thought I was fine with it. Made myself think I was fine. And soon I would be discharged a second time. The next time I come here, I might not be able to walk on my own, even though I knew that I felt my unresisting self to be wretched. I felt myself, who didn't even have a destination, to be ridiculous.
時間を止め
Okay, let's end this.
心を止め
We'll begin
胸に大きな傷
with
跡を
that
作り
moment in the next episode. I really hope I enjoyed that story. I really do. It's amazing. Okay, I'm out of here. Bye.